I love Robinhood as much as the next person, but there's one glaring issue that I can't get over. Other apps like Webull have advanced graphs and metrics to help you see where your money's at, and Robinhood simply doesn't have it. So instead, I've created spreadsheets to try to understand what my money's doing and how I can do a better job of investing. So without further ado, here's how my dividends are looking for the first couple months of this year. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're up to 67 subscribers. I'm growing every single week, and I appreciate all the support, but we'll go ahead and get to my stocks. As you can see, the list is fairly long and it's pretty complex. So starting on the left, we have the month that that dividend is being paid, the date that it's being paid, the company paying that dividend, the ticker symbol, the dividend per share, the number of shares I own, the amount that I was paid out, the last dividend, as in the previous time they paid out. So as you can see, a few of those are not available, and the net change. So this is where it starts to get interesting. As you look at Four Corners Property Trust, which is one of my REITs, as of last year, it was paying 28.75 cents per share on a quarterly basis. This year, that was increased to 31 cents. And of course, we know the net change there is 6.09%. So I've color-coded these. Anything under 5%, but in the positive, is light green. Anything higher than 5% is dark green. Yellow means no change. Red means more than 5% decrease in dividend payment. And orange means a decrease in the payment, but in under 5%. So we'll go through these and talk about my goals. But the biggest thing here is last year, if we scroll over, we can see that my dividend payments totaled to $20.74 last year. I have this broken down monthly, and then 2019 compared to 2020. As we can see, 2020, I've already received more money than I did all of last year, which is awesome. But my goal was to increase from $20 to $100. So is that feasible for this year? So as you can see in January, Walmart paid. Verit is an interesting one because I continue to buy more shares of Verit. Four Corners Property Trust, Agilent, PowerShares S&P 500 or SPHD. Of course, that's one of my monthly paying ETFs. So that's always a big one for me. Moving into February, we had AT&T. I think that's a big grower for the future. Charles Schwab, of course, was the next one. February was a pretty slow month for me. I only received 3 dividends. So 36 cents on that payment. S&P 500, again, for SPHD. That one was a little bit larger. Then moving down, Pfizer, Microsoft, Realty Income, Corning, PowerShares, S&P 500, Vanguard. But when we talk about increasing our dividends monthly, it has to do with continuing to buy. So of course, I talk about SPHD. As we can see here, in March, I had 13 shares, as opposed to back in January, I had 11. I'm anticipating 15 shares for this month, which would be awesome to see. And the newest addition to my portfolio is, of course, Realty Income, or O. So that's paying about 23 cents per month right now. I have 3 shares currently. So that, of course, will pay out not until May. These dividends here for April are not complete because SPHD does not talk or does not release, exactly what their dividend is going to pay until a day or two before it pays out. But the reason that I like to bring this up is for April now we can see Coca-Cola, Walmart, Four Corners Property Trust, Verit, Agilent, SPHD. And like I said, I've continued to buy. This is a steady dividend. They've kept it constant, which means even as the price drops, the dividend is going to stay the same, which means that the yield for that dividend is increasing. Right now, that yield is over 10%. Of course, real estate is struggling with what's going on with the markets. I think in the long term, this could be a terrific play because I was able to get in low. And like I said, that dividend is going to be consistent regardless of what's happening in the market. Net change, as we can see, most of these are in the green. But moving forward, I think a lot of those could be decreasing, again, because of what's happening. But the reason I like Coca-Cola, they're a dividend king. They're going to continue to increase no matter what. But as we see for 2020, these dividends have gotten larger. So of course, February was a little bit smaller than January, and I'm still pretty happy with that. And when we compare it to 2019, we can see that last year I did not do a very good job of increasing my dividends until later in the year. So we can see I didn't consistently receive them until July, but then there in December, my dividends were about $8. I'm projecting, based on where my portfolio is at, that I could receive anywhere from $15 to $20 dividend in December, and my goal for next year would be $250. It is aggressive, but I think it's important, especially because the market's struggling. So in 2019 here, we can see very little consistency, but growth, especially at the end of the year. And in 2020, when we look at this overlaid graph, we can see the orange is 2020 and the blue is 2019. I would say I'm in terrific position to continue that portfolio growth, and I think that there's some great things going on for my portfolio. There's a lot to look forward to. I know this is a little bit different video than I usually post, but I like to do this hopefully every 3 months now. Of course, I reached $4,000 in my portfolio, and I will be talking about that here coming up. Next video should be out Saturday, so let me know what you think. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Thanks.